The Aqara TVOC air quality monitor is, well, an air quality monitor with temperature and humidity sensors and an e-ink display. And you can buy 2 of them for the price of its nearest competitor. Wait, what? That can't be right. Well, Well, okay, we should probably talk about that. Greetings Internet, my name is Dustin and this is my HomeKit Home, and here we look at the smart home with an Apple HomeKit and accessibility focus. So I'll just be real and say that before my obsession with HomeKit began, I never really cared much about indoor air quality. I kind of kept tabs on what was going on outdoors because I do have asthma and pretty terrible allergies, but by and large, I just ignored what was happening indoors. I've since been woke, having outfitted my home with a number of different air quality sensors, but they aren't exactly affordable. Well, most of them anyway. The TVOC air quality monitor from Aqara currently comes in at more than half of other HomeKit indoor air quality sensors out there, but doesn't stack up, and do you get what you pay for? Now, Aqara did send me a review unit with the clear understanding that I would be 100% honest with you, and they're seeing it at the same time as you. As always, if you're interested in getting the TVOC air quality monitor for yourself, you'll find affiliate links in the description box just below that like button. Now let's see what we get inside the box and look at some of the features of this bad boy. Alright, let's break this thing down. The Aqara TVOC air quality monitor is an indoor total volatile organic compound sensor with temperature and humidity sensors as well, and a high contrast dot matrix e-ink display. It is a Zigbee 3.0 device, which means you will need a compatible Aqara hub in order to get it into HomeKit. Other than that, the only other notable feature is that it does use 2 CR2450 batteries, which Aqara says should get you about a year's worth of life. Now, as I just mentioned, in order to get the TVOC air quality monitor into HomeKit, you'll want to connect it using one of Aqara's Zigbee 3.0 hubs, which is essentially any of them with the exception of the original Aqara hub. Regardless of which one you're using, the setup process is exactly the same. You'll jump into Aqara's Home app, you'll tap the plus button, you'll find and select the TVOC air quality monitor, you'll choose your hub, and you'll press and hold the button on the top of the device. Or for the TLDR crew,
please add accessory. Accessory added successfully.
now that we've got it set up, as opposed to trying to test its efficacy by simulating some sort of real-world off-gassing, I want to address some concerns I've been seeing floating around the interwebs regarding air quality sensors and really any environment sensor in general. Volatile organic compounds, while they sound scary, are just chemicals that vaporize at room temperature. Some of them can be super bad for you, like benzene and formaldehyde, but others, like those produced by some plants and your essential oil diffuser, are not only harmless but can actually be beneficial for you. Either way, you do want to know what's going on with your indoor air quality. Now, I'm no scientist, but I find it hard to imagine that a single sensor is capable of detecting all VOCs, good or bad, and if such a sensor were to exist, that it'd be sold at your local Best Buy or Apple store. So we should probably take any readings from any environment sensor as a general indication of what's actually happening in our environment. Case in point, I took all of the air quality sensors in my HomeKit home and I put them in the same room for a couple of hours. Surprisingly, a fight didn't break out, but I did get some pretty interesting results. As you can see, they can't really agree on what the actual air quality is, even devices from the same manufacturer and the same model, but that doesn't mean we can't do anything with these sensors. As is usually the case, the Aqara Home app does provide a bit more than the HomeKit experience for their devices. We can, of course, see the current TVOC concentration, we can see the humidity, the temperature, and the battery status. Tapping on the three dots at the top right takes us to to the device's settings, where we can choose how the sensor data is displayed on the device. We can choose between Celsius and Fahrenheit for temperature, and between parts per billion and TVOC for our air quality. We can also see the different automations that we set up with the device, which is where I think the TVOC air quality monitor really shines. As triggers for automations, we can not only use minimum and maximum thresholds of air quality, temperature, and humidity changes, but we can also have actions occur based on the current status of those sensors. That means that we could say have the light on the Hub M1S change its color to reflect the current air quality. The downside to these latter automations is that they can really only be used with other Aqara devices. So let's see what we can do with the TVOC air quality monitor in Apple's Home app. Apple's Home app shows a lot of the same stuff as Aqara's Home app, though we don't have that historical data. We can see the current TVOC levels, the temperature, the humidity, and oddly, we have a more precise indication of the actual battery level of the device. Like in Aqara's Home app, we can use minimum and maximum thresholds to trigger other HomeKit accessories, but there's no real easy way that I know of at least to set up a status indicator. If you do, let me know in the comment section. Now, when you think of an environment sensor, you don't necessarily think of a device that needs to be super responsive with minimal latency, but we've definitely got one here. Because it does use Zigbee 3.0, you can expect a pretty quick turnaround when getting device information in the app or using Siri. Now, the TVOC air quality monitor features an e-ink display which supposedly crams the current TVOC concentration level, temperature, and humidity sensor readings on this tiny display. I say supposedly because I can't really see it, so I outsourced this part. Hello, wife.
Hello, husband.
So, can I see the sensor?
Nope.
Can you see the sensor?
Yep.
Well, that's good enough for me. Moving on. As I mentioned previously, this device does require an Aqara hub, which is an added expense and does take up space in your home. However, Aqara offers a number of different Zigbee hubs to meet your needs, and most of them have added value like security systems or HomeKit secure video cameras. Plus, these devices allow you to connect up to 128 child devices, which are pretty numerous in quantity and variety. As you might expect from a smart air quality monitor, the Aqara Home app does provide a log of past readings. However, I was only able to see the current day's readings in this log. As for the blind folk hardware experience, this is a pretty compact device with only a single button on top used to check its connectivity status, to change the display information, and to set it up and reset it. It does have an e-ink display, which I'm told is pretty easy to read in just about any lighting condition, but it does seem that the font is pretty thin and relatively small, so this might not work depending on your visual acuity. Another thing that I like about this device is that it includes an adhesive-backed magnet and a strip of double-sided tape, allowing you to stick it to just about any surface, keeping it out of harm's way. Aside from the random button that is unlabeled and some that are just labeled oddly, navigating the Aqara Home app is a breeze, and as far as I can tell, most of the components on the screen are accessible. A notable point here specific to the TVOC air quality monitor is that the line charts that are used to display the sensor data are accessible. This is not the case for other environment sensors that I've tested in the past, so good on you, Aqara. Look, indoor air quality is important, and you probably want to try to do everything in your power to make sure that the air you and your family are breathing is as clean as possible, and being aware of potential pollutants is the first step in getting there. But consumer level devices are only going to get you so far. The Aqara TVOC air quality monitor is an affordable way to give you a general idea of your home's air quality, and can be really useful for triggering automations that not only let you know what's going on, but can also be used to trigger actions if need be. But this is just my opinion, and I'd like to hear yours in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. And if you're interested in other HomeKit environment sensors, you can check out one of these videos here, and I'll see you over there.